It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and other comics from all over. We came to Japan to get out of detox and to get back into redux. The Talk Funny podcast from NagoyaRadio.com and Nagoya Comedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
Mark Bailey, Mike Miller is here, and it's Talk Funny.
Good to be back.
We're going to have to go back and listen to the other Family Mart stories, and I keep scratching Family Marts off my list.
This is like a Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have the Family Mart Cinematic Universe.
It's the Family Mart Universe.
It's like just when you think every week, every month, there's another story.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. So I've crossed so many Family Marts off my list where I will shop. Mm-hmm. And
you can't go to Conveni anymore.
And then I make a new list. It's the S list, Family Marts that suck.
You mean the Jewish Karma list?
Yeah. And there's nothing left in Minato-ku. There's no Family Marts that I can go to anymore because I've had an incident at every one of them.
Uh-huh.
And now, unfortunately, the one near us...
was alcohol involved by any chance?
No comment. And
I'd like to speak to my lawyer, please.
But, all I'd say is that when I stopped, I think I told you one time, there was a Liquor Mountain branch.
Mountain. Now, you guys who are outside Japan don't know Liquor Mountain. Liquor Mountain is a great liquor store.
Mountain,
it's a mountain of liquor.
Give me beer.
Oh, yeah. And they have good stuff there,
I'll
too.
drink it there. I'll drink it here. Liquor Mountain, Mountain Mama. Sweet Mama, Liquor Mountain.
Nice. But yeah, seriously, if you come to Japan, go to the Liquor Mountain. I don't know if it's only in Nagoya. Do they have them in Tokyo and Osaka?
It's a chain.
It's a chain. And they actually have a really good selection of all sorts of liquor, not just Japanese, but they have all sorts of like foreign stuff. They should be sponsoring our podcast here. I'm doing an ad for them.
Let's do a little cough here. Not that I'm opening a can or anything. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's a trick that we learn, married guys learn in Japan when you're opening up a beer at home.
I hear some teachers teaching online do that too.
Yeah. And
nobody I know.
And the wife says, "How many beers are you going to drink tonight?"
Well, a lot.
Depends on how long you've been watching me. There was a Liquor Mountain very close to us. Our illustrious
that's great.
studios.
You're lucky. I'd go there all the time if there was one near me, but there's not one near me.
And, very close to where the Studebaker lived. Mm-hmm. And then my mom died. And then I was gone for a month. I had to clean the house out.
God bless. Yeah.
When I came back, I don't know how much liquor I bought there. They went out of business
because
I didn't buy for a month.
Mark. You should be an investor. You should be an investor in the chain.
It should be called Mark Mountain.
Mark Mountain.
Liquor Mark.
Liquor Mark. Actually, you know what? I will say this about Japanese liquor stores.
I don't even know her.
I would say, exactly. I would say Japanese liquor stores are among the best in the world. And I say this as a Canadian, because in Canada, we have the stupid thing called the LCBO in Ontario, where the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, where for the longest time, you could not buy booze in a convenience store. You had to go to the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, or you had to go to the beer store and buy beer. Now they're opening up. But anyways, Japan has great liquor stores, and the liquor here is incredibly affordable. It's cheaper. I was in Canada one time. I went to Canada, and I thought, well, I'll bring back a bottle of Crown Royal Canadian whiskey as a omiyage, like as a present for some people I knew.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I brought it, gave it, and they were so thankful, because Crown Royal is famous. It has the velvet bag. Everyone has one of those velvet bags in Canada, pretty much. And then I gave it to them, and I was like, they were like, oh, thank you. And then I went to the liquor store down the way. I saw the same bottle of Crown Royal, cheaper than in Canada. Why is that? Because the liquor taxes in Japan are actually quite low, although they're going to raise them soon, I hear, right?
So you have tariffs that you're paying, right?
Oh, Canada, the liquor tax is called a sin tax. Right. They charge there's a lot of, just like cigarettes. That's why cigarettes are so expensive in Canada, because they want to discourage people from smoking, so they jack up the tax.
And in the States, you have, in the South, I worked for the government. I was a speechwriter. I had to tour every state in the Union. And in the South, you have dry counties.
Yes, I've heard of those. And that's weird.
Wet counties.
We don't have that in Canada. I think everywhere.
And on Sundays, you can't get beer. So I think a lot of auto accidents are caused by alcohol, but it's not because you've been drinking it. It's because you're racing to get there by 11:45. Yes. Because they won't sell it at 12. The law is 12 midnight in the
wow. Because that's how you stop drinking. Yeah, because people don't drink after midnight.
People don't drink on Sunday.
No, they never drink on Sunday. People aren't drunk at mass or
you can't drink on Sunday.
Yeah.
What's the communion? What is that?
Communion.
You don't have wine.
No, they don't have wine.
No.
Actually, that's the interesting thing that I didn't know growing up. Catholics, they have, every time they have a mass, they have communion. Because I went to, my dad was Protestant. My dad was a Protestant Presbyterian. And they would do communion like once a month or something. But the Catholics, they love communion. They do it every mass. They have communion. It's like crazy. And wine. They give you the wine. They give you the bread. I never did it because I'm not Catholic. But you can get in line. You line up. You go to the priest. And he puts the little wafer on your tongue. And then you... Yeah, it's interesting.
And then if you like the wine, you get in line again.
You get in line again, and there's certain people who go multiple times.
And the priest is like...
and then he says, do you have I want to bring your children up closer to the...
Yeah, and then the priest is like, you've been in line 5 times. Why don't you come back? And I'll give you something to confess about.
Yeah. I've never done that. I've never done the Catholic thing. I get it. I get why people love it, you know?
Oh, okay.
It's Catholics. They got the best. They got all the rituals. They got all that stuff going on, and... Yeah, there's a dark side to it, of course.
They got the Pope, and they got the Pope's children, and the children's...
The woke
children
Pope.
Of the Pope.
The Pope is super woke, man.
Popes don't have children, I'm joking. But, so dry counties.
Yeah.
And you'd have people just having car wrecks in the parking lot trying to get their beer on a Saturday night before the Sunday, right?
Or they have to drive to the next county, right?
Yeah. We have a dry county, you can't buy alcohol at all.
So if you want to make money, you set up a liquor store right on the boundary line, the county boundary line.
You may not know this band, but a very famous kind of country pop band called Georgia Florida Line. That's what it's called.
Oh.
That's where they came from.
They would all go to Georgia, or they all go to Florida?
Georgia was dry counties right next to Florida. Florida is all wet counties.
Wow. You can't, it's just like give up at that point. If it's going to be legal in some parts, if it's going to be legal in some parts of the country, they're going to get it. They're going to get alcohol.
Well, you're going to go, and that's what people do. They would go to Florida, or they would go to a wet area and buy
tons,
$1 million worth of beer. And sell it to their friends and parties and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually... the same thing happens.
I thought alcohol was legal.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing happens in Europe. Because I went to see a friend of mine, Liam. Shout out to Liam if you're listening. He used to live in Norway, and he used to drive to Sweden to buy booze because the tax was lower. So there was this ski resort town somewhere in Sweden, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go to Sweden?" I'm like, "Sure, let's go to Sweden." Wow. And then, there's no border check. There's just a road, it goes right through the woods. Sweet. And I was like, I felt like I was in Canada because it's exactly the same kind of landscape as Canada. It's like boreal forest, there's trees and rocks and trees and rocks and trees and rocks. Shout out to the Arrogant Worms who have a song about that. But yeah, they do it even in Europe.
I had a Finnish girlfriend. I went to see her, and then we went to Norway and Sweden, and it's just it's a mountain that separates Norway and Sweden. You drive around this little small country road, and now you're in Sweden.
And there's no border checks because they're in the I don't know. Are they? I think they are in the Schengen zone. So there's a Schengen. That's a great innovation. I really like traveling in Europe. You don't have to do border checks. It's so nice because we have had experiences with border patrol and things that are not fun, and then of course they bring out the dogs, which we love. We love those dogs.
We're going to get to them.
The dogs, and we'll foreshadowing.
Okay, so Family Mart, the next one, unfortunately, the one that's near our illustrious studios, they're on my S list now. You were up here on your bike or something, and you sent me a photo of a different Family Mart. That was the good one.
Oh, that was the good one. Is it out of business, or is it changing ownership, or what?
Franchises.
Okay.
This Family Mart that we have next to us used to be a Lawson's. But it's the same owner. They just keep
they changed the franchise.
Franchises, they compete with each other with the severity of rules.
7-Eleven is notorious for that. There was a guy, I think we talked about it on a previous podcast, there was a Japanese konbini owner who couldn't find staff to staff his store late at night, and it wasn't making any money. He's like, I get no customers after 1 a.m. So I want to close.
You lose your principal.
And he closed, and the 7-Eleven sued him. They said, no, our rule is we have to be open 24 hours a day.
I think they're paying $500,000 or something for a franchise license, and you lose the principal if you violate their contract.
Yeah, they're really strict. I mean, and it's like McDonald's. Basically, they are to the convenience store what McDonald's is, because McDonald's was, I think, really the first chain to really enforce their standards very strictly, and that's why everybody likes McDonald's because you go into McDonald's, you know the toilets are going to be clean.
You know
the toilets are going to be clean. You know the menu. You know that the system works in a certain way, and that was the mother of all franchises, really. McDonald's,
Do you guys
right?
have chicken McNuggets?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's McDonald's.
I mean, even if you go to India or I've never been, but I've been told that they have, do they have pork burgers or chicken burgers? Like they adapt to the local restrictions because you can't obviously have beef hamburgers in India, right? But they adapt to it and they have their own little twist, right? But it's still the same kind of experience, even whether you're in India or you're in Japan or you're in... I like Japanese McDonald's. I like the breakfast, but in Japan, they're Nazis about the breakfast. 10 a.m.
Yeah,
10
in the
a.m.
States, they serve breakfast all day.
They serve breakfast all day now in Canada and the U.S. Freedom, man. Freedom.
That's the only
we need
good
that.
part is the breakfast.
That's the good
the
part.
Hash browns is the best thing.
I love the hash browns. Shout
You're a
out to
baker
McDonald's
girl.
Japan. McDonald's
I just gave
Japan.
her pancakes that I got this morning, and the pancakes are good.
Yeah.
I don't even like eggs, and I'm pretty sure those aren't eggs that they sell. But I like whatever the hell, whatever that is.
I like it.
I like it.
I want more of
some
that.
kind of NASA stuff, right? I got it.
Comes out of a tube, most likely.
I just thought of a joke though, where Tony Robbins. You know how much I love Tony Robbins.
You love Tony Robbins.
Love him. It's
You
not
love
word
him.
salad. It's not word salad at all. No, and don't stomp your feet anymore. Actually, we would stomp our feet, but it's bad for the podcast.
Yes, and the neighbors don't like it.
So Tony Robbins was saying, listen, if you want to be an astronaut, you got to hang around other astronauts. And then you can be an astronaut. It was like, okay, I tried that. I got kicked out of Cape Canaveral because I don't have a pass. That's not suspicious at all.
Yeah, hanging around the rocket launch
There's
sites.
this Canadian guy with a backpack
Yeah.
and earphones and a hoodie.
First of all, you said Canadian guy. That is suspicious right away.
And he's got a backpack.
Canadian guy in Florida? Who knew?
And he's trying to get really close to the astronauts.
Yeah. He wants
What's
to
he
talk
up to?
them.
What's he up to?
Yeah, exactly.
You get kicked out. It's like
You get some guy with a little thing in his ear coming over.
you could be anything you want to be.
And you know what? The best thing is you don't have to work for it at all.
No.
Just think. Just close your mind.
Mike, if you
close your
wanted-
mind, open your mind, close
Mike,
your
if you-
eyes and visualize and you will get it.
If you wanted to be a lawyer, why aren't you a lawyer?
That's right.
I mean, it's your fault.
That's right. It is my fault.
Obviously. Just if you want to be a lawyer, you are. You are. It's like, okay,
Just,
and then
just imagine yourself as a lawyer and you'll become a lawyer.
This is the end of the Tony Robbins audiobook. Thank you for listening to Audible. Wait a minute. He just said, what did I get from that? If you want to be a lawyer, go ahead. Thank you, Tony Robbins. Any tips? Like, how about, do I need to take the bar exam or
Do I
something?
need to,
Or
like,
is there
study or
any more
something?
details?
No,
is there
no,
someone
no.
more qualified to give me
No,
advice?
no one
Okay,
more qualified.
So I got to get back to the Family Mart story.
Yes.
Couple of Family Marts, one of them burned down.
What?
Shame. Well, nice Family Mart you got here.
They shouldn't
It's a
play with
shame.
matches. They shouldn't
Just
play
when
with
I thought
matches.
I was out, they pulled me back in. All my life I wanted to be a gangster, and then I dropped some vegetables, and they wanted to call the cops.
You dropped the lettuce.
Call back. All right, so I dropped the vegetables, and they wanted to call the cops on me.
No, Mark is not that vindictive for all you listening
No, I
out there.
didn't know.
I
I
know.
have
Mark's
nothing to do with
not that. Mark's not that kind of
and
person.
that's not my brand of lighter.
And I'm not joking. I'm
That's not
telling
my
the
brand
truth.
of lighter.
Yeah.
All right. Then, so I quit that Family Mart, and I went to another Family Mart. It's run by a Nepali guy, and he's the one who said, I guess they have cameras outside. The first guy said, when I dropped the vegetables, he goes, we have cameras in the store. I know that. I was going to take care of the vegetables. I
Actually,
offered to
Mark
pay.
recorded his first special in a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Or was it a Family Mart?
Family Mart. So the second guy is a Nepali guy. I walked in. I had a cold, so I guess I spit somewhere near the bushes or something, not even near to Family Mart. And I went in. I bought my stuff, and he's taking his time. I'm like, is everything okay? What's the problem? And I didn't pay yet. And he goes, you can't spit outside of a Family Mart. I said, but everything's outside of a Family Mart.
Yes. You people outside Japan do not realize how many Family Marts there are in this country. There's what, 10,000 of them? Something?
Yeah.
Like convenience stores in Japan, we say kombini. Convenience stores in Japan are ubiquitous. They're everywhere on every street corner.
But if you think about it, okay, the confines of this convenience store, you can't spit outside of here. Okay, can I spit inside? No. It's like Catch-22, Bob Newhart and Catch-22.
You should have been like that angry guy at the train station and whip out your pocket constitution and go, it says here, Article 33 of the Japanese Constitution says you may spit in public.
Yeah. So I said, so I can't spit. I didn't spit in Family Mart because you can't spit outside of the store. And they said, well, so I can't spit at all?
Great expectorations.
That'll be 1,450 yen, about $15. And they said, Yeah, it's kind of funny because you kind of screwed up. See, you should have scolded me after you got my money. Now you put it back. Now you put it back.
Yeah.
Now you put it back.
Yeah.
And I'm a good customer at these places. I go like every day or every other day. So that's
Not an alcoholic. Not an alcoholic.
To buy onigiri, Mike. What are you?
You're not alcoholic. You buy your beer at what? 11 a.m.
Amazon, JP. All right. So scratch that one off. Went to another Family Mart. That's my new Family Mart. I went in. It was raining. I left the umbrella on the little, kind of a shelf.
There's a little shelf to put your bag on, right in front of the cash register.
There's a shelf.
So if you have a bag, you put it there, or a briefcase, or whatever.
So I left my umbrella there. It wasn't wet. And again, Family Mart. Listen, if you're going to scold people, get the money first.
Yes.
You're an idiot.
Yes.
You're not even doing sabetsu racism.
But here's the thing: you have to realize something. These employees are getting paid 1,000 yen an hour. They don't give a damn.
But this is
they don't
the
care.
manager.
The manager should be. Oh, the manager did that to you. Wow.
The manager was going to call the cops on the.
He's going to call the cops on you.
The vegetables, and then a different manager said.
And the cops, all they have to hear is, "Oh, Gaji just got. Oh, we'll be there in 5 minutes."
Woo!
What? It doesn't matter.
Extra fast.
We're there.
We'll use 2 sirens. So it sounds like 2 cop cars. You'd say, Don Knotts.
Oh, can we see? Oh, where do you work? Oh, really? Who's your boss? Oh, what's your wife's phone number? Can we call your wife?
We're going to tell your boss and tell your wife, and just don't do it again, but it doesn't really matter because you don't have a job anymore.
Yes.
So I don't think you're coming to the convenience store.
And if we suspect you of anything, we're going to take you away for, 21 days, and you're definitely not going to have a job when you come out.
This owner and / manager at the third place, he said, so that'll be 2,008 yen, and take your umbrella off of the shelf. And I said,
I was leaving already.
I said, okay, I'm gonna put it outside. And he goes, good. I went outside and I didn't come back. And he has to. Now you put it back. So
how many? Do you have any conveniences you can go to? Are there any left?
The 4th time I quit Family Mart, this is what had happened. That's why
I just want to know what Jewish karma came after that.
I know. I can tell you what the F stands for in Family Mart.
Yeah.
First.
Strangely, there's no U in Family Mart.
There's no we. So the one that's near us, the reason they're on the S list is if you've been there, you'll see they have little stickers of where you stand in line, right? You have to stand in line.
Oh, yes. They have little foot. They're like stickers with looks like an image of feet.
And then they have arrows.
They want you to, in the arrows. And they want you to
go to the register.
And it's not like obvious because you would think, no, I'm going to go, this aisle is the closest to the register. I'm going to go here. And then you do that and you get in the way and you look behind you and there's someone standing on where the footprints are on the ground and you're like, oh, I'm cutting into line. Right. And then you feel really bad. You're like, I didn't see that person. It's so weird.
So I learned the rules and I obey the rules. 6 months ago, I didn't see that. They have where you're supposed to stand and then they have arrows that show then you go to this register, whatever, whoever
it's like
says.
A little Y. It's like go to the left to this register, go to the right
they'll
to this
say, Dozo, come on. So I was scolded 6 months ago because I didn't know that. But what you have to understand about Japanese...
Mark's eyes aren't very good, just to let you know. He might not have seen what it was. He didn't see that lettuce falling. He didn't see those vegetables falling off the shelf.
And what people have to understand about Japanese is this is not Britain. Japanese aren't good at standing in line. They're really good at breaking line. Okay, you don't understand, Mike. He's Japanese. His time is important, right? They're really not good. So what they usually do is, I used to always have a line that I would tell, I'm waiting. There's 3 registers. I'm standing close in the middle to all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to finish first.
Yeah.
And then some other guy will just walk up to another register.
Yeah.
And then he'll get there first. And I'll say, Chotomate, I was here first.
Yeah.
Keiba janai kara. It's not a horse race. I'm here first.
I like
right?
that. Keiba janai.
All right. So I was scolded. And the lady, these are all Japanese staff, and she said, please get in line. You have to get in line. Because I was doing what Japanese do is you just kind of hover, kind of loiter. There
is that, but I will say this: compared to China and Korea, Japan is like super observant of lines.
Well,
Korea when I was there was like for old people. Old people could get away with murder in Korea. Like they could literally, they would literally shove in front of you at the subway when you're in line to get a ticket from the ticket vending machine. They just get in front of you. And in China too, they don't respect lines in a lot of cases. And then Korea and China, China has the thing where if you yell loud enough, you can get whatever you want. You just got to yell. Yelling at the subway station, they want to get through. long story short. But Japan's pretty rule observant. But at the kombini, they leave that behind, as you're saying.
Well, basically, you have old guys that are just walking. They just want
old
cigarettes.
people. Old
they
people.
want cigarettes.
Yes.
So you don't count. You've been standing here.
Yes. Old people get away with everything everywhere in Asia.
I'm just getting cigarettes.
I think everywhere in Asia, old people get away with murder because people respect the elderly to some extent. And when you're old, you don't have anyone, you don't have a job, you don't have nothing to lose. You've got nothing left to lose. You're the world's most dangerous person.
Korea is the worst. At the airport, they even have the ropes, and you have to stand single file.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm next in line. I'm waiting to get my ticket approved to get on. So I can wait and get on the plane. And out of nowhere, like some guy behind me just walks in front of me. And
welcome to Korea.
Yeah, and I said, "Hey, I was here first." And she said, "But this is Korea." I'm like, "Yeah, but I was in Korea. I was closer to Korea than he was."
I'm sorry, Mr. Guilo.
The Family Mart, the new one that's on my S list. The lady said 6 months ago, "You've got to get in line." I said, "You're right. She's correct. She was correct. I did it." Because I was hovering, I was kind of loitering around as you do in Japan. When this guy finishes, I'm just going to go to the register.
Yeah.
But there's people standing in line as they're supposed to do. So then from then on, I got scolded. So from then on, I always followed. All right. So then a couple of days ago, I'm standing in line. I'm the only one in line. I'm the first one in line. And the guy's loitering around. And then it's my turn. I walk up, and the Japanese staff lady goes, "Chotomate, just wait." And she takes the guy who's loitering around. Guess what race he is?
What? No.
Guess if he's a gaijin or not? Do you think he's a
Gaijin, maybe?
No, he's not.
Not a gaijin.
Did you know that? Did you see that coming?
Oh, I did not see that coming at all. By the way, we don't have any room in the restaurant for you.
Yeah.
Could you wait outside?
It's a familiar theme. You're gonna
let my people go.
Let my people go. Let my people go. So here's some callback. We'll close with this. So I went up and I let her ring it up, and I said, "Tarashi hoho wa koko de narabu ne." So the right way to stand in queue is what I was doing, right? Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir. Chuck-san. Yes, customer. That's right. Okay, but why did you take that guy who wasn't in line ahead of me when I was here first? And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I said, "Sumimasen." And I said, "Yeah, sumimasen. Jibun de kaishite."
Sumimasen janai. Gomen nasai. Yeah. Apologize. I am the god. If you're the customer in Japan, you are the god. Kyakusama wa kami-sama da ne.
Sometimes in Japanese, sumimasen is like, we don't have that anymore. Go F yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Sumimasen has a lot of meanings. We could do a whole podcast about that. Sumimasen and gambatte ne. So those are two things that can,
So what I did was let her ring it up. And I said, so I did it the right way, right?
Yeah.
And then you took that guy ahead of me. Why did you take that guy ahead of me? And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry." What people don't understand is sumimasen also means it never ends.
Yes.
Sorry, it never ends. Sorry, it never ends. It never ends, Mike.
Yes.
It never ends.
It's just about getting you out of their... What sumimasen kind of means kind of go away at a certain point, right?
Go F yourself.
Yeah. So one last thing I will say before the end of the podcast, I misspoke. Guilo is Chinese for foreigner, and Waeguk Sanam is Korean for foreigner. Okay. I made a mistake. So the Koreans, please don't come after me. I studied a little Korean. I should know better.
Oh, Koreans are actually pretty...
they're very, very well adjusted.
Very
and they're not... they're pretty cool. They're very cool about their culture,
They don't mind.
They don't
talking about their language. They're pretty laid back.
Did you know that it has the most logical alphabetical system in the whole
you're
world?
Calling
Did
me
you know
stupid?
that?
You calling
Did you
us
know
stupid?
that they invented kanji? Did you know that? You know the Koreans invented kanji, actually, not the Chinese. Did you know that?
Korean's not that hard for people to learn. Oh, because we're stupid? Because we're stupid? No,
Kim Sejong.
So
King Sejong.
Here's the callback. So she rang it all up. I said, yeah, that was right. The way I did it. And then he took the guy anyway, so you put it back. Mark Bailey, Mike Miller, Talk Funny.